All right, so I'm here with Igor again. Igor, welcome back.
Thanks for having me. I'm happy to be back. How are you doing, Anthony?
I'm doing good. I'm actually excited about today's topic. It's going to be about burning fat and building muscle. And this is something, for me and a lot of people that I've taken an interest in where we know how to put on muscle, but with that, of course, comes a lot of fat buildup. And not that it's at an unhealthy level, but it has the potential of getting there. And it's more like, how do you build muscle without getting fat? And to a lot of people, that seems impossible. But with functional training, that's a very real reality where you can almost have the best of both worlds. And with a lot of things in life, that doesn't really happen often, but with this, it does. So I was hoping, when you started your journey and you saw how, you were able to get that muscular look and being, using your genetics, of course, but you were able to get a muscular look, get big, while also staying functional, staying fit, and having a lean build. So, how does one go about this? I know diet is a big factor in this. So, I guess we'll start there with diet. Like, what do you do to get that lean look?
Um, so you are asking about diet, but here we have different type of. First of all, in order before we discuss diets, we need to understand what do people really want. Some people want visually abs. Visually low body fat. Some people that's their goal. Some people want to be athletic and have abs. Some people don't want to do anything and have abs. So it depends on people's goal. So I don't personally like word diet. I don't like anything associated with a plan. I don't like nutrition plan. I'll explain why. Because anything that is planned, has to be exactly done, as planned. And that puts a lot of responsibility. Now imagine if your, let's say, nutrition or diet plan is 3 months long. Each time you slip out of meal or maybe a day, you will feel like you are out of your target, like you're feel like you're failing your plan.
Mm.
And so sometimes and all the time in life, you are witnessing obstacles, no matter you're a professional athlete or you're just a human who wants to physically improve. Your obstacles are simply change of schedule. If you have family, you have some emergencies. Maybe you get sick. Maybe the gym is closed. Maybe everything can happen. And that's why any type of plan puts regular person who wants to stay in shape, we're not talking about professional athletes, any type of plan puts person in a lot of responsibilities and frustrations after not following them. What I support is the developing certain nutritional habits that will benefit you for the rest of your life and that will satisfy the goals that you set for yourself. And that after having said that, this type of goal puts person in a different type of thinking. Person starts trying different things, trying different options in order to make that nutrition habits, lifestyle enjoyable because he needs to adjust it so much that he can stay with it for the rest of his life. And that guarantees him sustainable progress, you know? So that's why any type of diet plan is not sustainable and it's pretty much it cannot be applicable to anybody because every person is individual and some foods portions meals amount of meals calories can work for one person and can destroy the other person because of different genetics inside the body and outside the body. Everything matters. That's why any type of diet plan won't work.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. But things like switching out white bread, which is, just enriched sugar, it converts to sugar after you eat it. You'd be better off, honestly, putting turkey between a Hershey bar than eating white bread. But swapping out for whole wheat or whole grain, making sure that if you buy beef, that it's 95% lean, so that way your stomach isn't hurt, when you eat it. Making sure you drink out of metallic water canisters instead of water bottles. Um, Eating, looking at the nutrition facts is a very big deal that a lot of people don't they overlook. Avoiding, you know, fried things, greasy things. Not saying that you can't eat it all the time, but like, in my circumstance I have GERD. So that's like really severe acid reflux. And for me I had to avoid trigger foods, but you can't do it all the time. Sometimes you just got to buy a piece of pizza and keep it pushing. Um and I liked specifically what you said about if you don't stick to the plan, you feel bad for doing that. And I think the biggest part for being healthy and not trendy, and this is where the two differ, is that health understands that we're human beings and that we're not machines. Machines are able to stick to, a plan or a routine 100% of the time. But humans, we quite literally can't. We have feelings, we have families, we have emergencies, we get sick. So I really liked that analogy that you gave.
Yes, that's basically how it works. And just to give you and everybody a little example, let's say you have a diet plan. Let's say it's advanced, let's call it this way, advanced diet plan, customized for you. But each day for you is different. It isn't as simple as that. Sometimes you take the car, sometimes you have to walk, sometimes you have to move things. If you work in a construction, your physical activity is very high. So, see, and sometimes in one of the days, maybe you stay home, you relax. Each of those days, you get more or less calorie intake. So, this is just a very strong fact to destroy the idea of following a meal plan. Because let's say if you set a goal, your trainer set a goal to drop 1 pound each week, you won't be able to stick to it, or you won't be able to control it because you don't know unless you are living the same physical lifestyle each single day. You calculate how many steps you made to the bathroom this morning. Oh man, I made 15 steps. I made 16 yesterday. Okay, one more step. Okay, or maybe you step less than more than you should. Then you have to jump to your bathroom. Anyways, how many steps you'd make from door to your car, from how many times you press the brake. You have to really. I know it's funny, but in order to make that plan work, you have to live every day the same. You know what I mean? And but it's impossible. So that's why meal plans are catching your attention because everybody wants see the problem of how people react on things. They want a guarantee.
Mm,
You know,
mm.
some psychopaths trainers they guarantee results in certain amount of time. Man, this is the worst. But some of them don't guarantee anything, but they set the amount of time. So let's say it will catch your what. Let's say if I'll tell people, if you follow this nutrition plan, you will lose weight. Everybody would be like, when, how long? But if I put say this nutrition plan will make you lose weight, uh, even like let's say 60-120 days, then people already have the goal set, kind of time limit, and a lot of these people, let's say, want to change their life after New Year. Now we have January, February, March, and that's how every marketing company already knows what days you're most motivated, how much time period you need. Like it's everything attracts your attention. But of course, if you set any type of time limit, what happens next? Like, what happens next, man? That's why, let's say, if I count my workouts, there's like hundreds and hundreds of workouts. But if I start thinking ahead how many workouts I'm gonna perform this year, I'm gonna go crazy. But I don't think this way because I just enjoy the process. You know what I mean?
Right. I
And I
mean,
don't set any limits.
you know what it is too is that a lot of these things are just a sick game to make money, like you said, and even tracking, how many calories you take, your macros, your micros, how many steps you take. It's really teaching you to just get into a routine and not to question it in all aspects of your life. And I feel like that's just very dangerous, not even just for like at an individual level, but even at like a societal level. Like we're literally programming ourselves to be robots to fit like this perfect image. And the thing is that a lot of people don't understand the body changes, right? So like I realized pretty early on that like if I keep going to bulk, like if I keep working out to bulk up and get bigger and bigger, eventually, like you said earlier, life happens, emergencies happen, illnesses happen, and that will turn into more and more fat, and then it'll go from okay, I have bulk muscle to I am out of shape. And people don't realize too, like one thing I noticed is actually a lot of the people that used to be bodybuilders or really like lift crazy like when they were younger, once they hit their middle ages they stop and they try to come back in like 10 years or 20 years after the fact, and it's a mess and it's harder to start again because they're not as young. So it's kind of just like fitness is supposed to be functional, and a lot of this stuff is a lot of people get into fitness for the wrong reasons, like you said, and they're influenced by this programming culture where it's like I can only eat certain amount of foods one day, certain amount of foods another day, and like in my case, like I'm just kind of curious about like how to define my muscles while also growing them, because that's a concept a lot of people don't understand is a result of this type of brainwashing from the corporations. It's kind of like, wait, I can grow muscle but still be lean, like how does that even work you know
Yes, Anthony. All of this stuff. I know your mom is listening, and that's why I'm trying to be very, very careful and respectful in words. So there's a lot of stuff that set up wrong habits in the heads of people. This type of eating habits, let's say small meals, high protein, protein shakes as a must, weight gainers, as a must in some cases, and the myths that you cannot gain muscle and get lean at the same time without anabolic steroids. Uh, there's a lot of myths, and the bodybuilding. Everybody is looking at the things through bodybuilding glasses,
Mm,
which is unbeneficial and which is very destructive. Now, look at it this way: you perform certain physical activity, all right? In my case, and what I recommend is functional training. Okay, we're not going to discuss bodybuilding training as an example because it's absurd. Let's say you do the functional training where you work pretty hard, you involve majority of your body muscles, the same movement, you go intense, and your workout becomes high intensity muscle cardio, where you train cardiovascular system when you have high intensity, when you have significant amount of reps for different muscles, involving most of muscles in the moves. Kettlebells, this jumps, burpees, different kinds, everything. So this way, each workout, your goal should be improving your results. Let's say sometimes intensity, sometimes strength. So you try to work harder each time. Every workout, your goal should be become better.
right.
And that's why I always change up the workouts, because there's always one step, micro step in different type of movement, functional movements. That's why I always progress. Each workout, I become stronger. In order to become stronger, I have to do two things. I have to recover well from the previous workout, and I have to fuel myself well for this next upcoming workout, right?
Right.
So
You
if
know,
I'm training harder, high intensity, involving a lot of body muscles at the same time, my metabolic processes are increased. And the more I do it, the more metabolic processes increase. Now my body requires fuel. The bigger, stronger I get, the more fuel I take. And that's why I fuel myself more and more. From fueling myself, I become stronger, my muscles grow. Now, the lean look here comes down to nutritional factor, of course. But I'll tell you the solution in in my opinion, what's the best type of strategy, a strategy to progress in improving lean muscle mass not while not getting any extra fat. Sorry. So everything is about nutrition. So, and that's what I was talking in today's video about nutritional value of each meal. To me, is also comes down to the when this meal is consumed. Let's say post-workout meal with the same nutritional value, if it's consumed before bed, it loses its nutritional value because in the bed at night you should relax and you're just making your stomach heavy and your body is overloaded.
mm,
That's why if person is able to adjust his nutrition and just give the body exactly what it needs, when it's time to fuel, you fuel it. When it's time to recover, you recover it smartly according to what it requires from you, without going to deficit of calories, without counting calories, and try to, learn more about your body and progress this way, eating more, cleaning up nutrition, training more, improving the intensity. This way you synchronizely grow, because your body grows like, almost like a child.
mm,
And in my opinion, in order to, because I know it's very difficult to understand what I'm saying right now, because, what type of nutrition, when, how do I know? So, well, you will find out by starting fueling yourself early in the morning and stopping fueling yourself eating early in the evening and let your body rest overnight. But in this period of time, from morning till early evening, you can actually practice different type of meals, different type of amount of calories, portions, because you will still be um, in a good situation. Your body will utilize majority of your calories because you are not going to fuel it in the evening. And that's why you want to try more carbs. How does it work for you? But do it during the day, during the morning, post workout, so stuff like that. The people just consume meals in the wrong times. That also matters a lot.
yeah, definitely. You're actually supposed to not consume anything 4 hours before bed, to have proper digestion. And and you do require energy to dissolve food. So definitely not eating before bed is something that should be practiced that a lot of people don't practice. And something that people don't understand too, if they go to bed late, they go to bed around 12 o'clock and they're like, oh, why am I so hungry? It's because that's the body's natural time to actually, fully digest everything. And when you wake up, you break the fast, kind of, breakfast. Um, but yeah, I couldn't agree more. Eating, and when you eat is a really important step in maintaining, actual recovery. Um, so like, when you, how did you learn more about like connecting your mind and body? Because a lot of people, they don't know when the appropriate amount of rest is. I have friends, they work out 6 or 7 days straight and they just don't stop. Or I have people that they'll say, "Oh, I'm resting," and they only go to the gym 3 days a week or 2 days a week. So it's really, how did you kind of figure out? what was the appropriate amount of time for you to recover and what your max and minimum was. Like, how would you start that?
Uh, so it's I started paying attention. You know, I started paying attention to what I'm doing first of all, and I started caring. I realized one big thing, like as in any other type of work, there is also certain type of approach, that people have. So, there's somebody who is boring interviewer, but there's somebody who is interesting interviewer like Anthony.
Oh, thank you,
Those
thank you.
people do the same job, but one doing it not doing it well, another one enjoying it and pays more attention to all the details, you know? So I also identified myself as somebody who cares to find out more about process because I know I love sports. I know I want to train. I know I set a goals. The same with discussing today to maintain, not maintain, to progress, to be in shape, to spend least amount of resources for most amount of effect, results. And that's why I started figuring out what is more or less efficient, what works, what does not. For me, the process of training is a process of learning and understanding my body, and it's a never-ending process, for me. For people, training process, it may falls into different sort of motivation. Some people are very maybe tired of focusing on something at work, and they consider training in the gym as a stress relief where they don't think about things. When they just blindly take a barbell or kettlebell or jump on a dips or pull up bars and just relax. Just do this movement without thinking about anything. So those people goals are different. So that's why for different people they put a different approach to training. Somebody is just stress relief, they don't care about diet, don't care about this. So those people can't get to the level of people who consider fitness is a part of learning, part of researching, part of trying to improve by practicing. So
Mm.
it's like comparing engineers to like you know medieval people, modern, you know what I mean? So
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
why it's also if person wants to learn, person wants to put effort, then yes, he will find a way to do it, He will start caring about what he is like, kind of understanding. But if person just wants to just blindly train, then he won't, succeed too much. He's just gonna be always in the same shape, more or less, doing the same thing.
You know,
But
you
because it's not his priority.
you mentioned something interesting. You corrected yourself on, instead of saying maintaining, you said progressing. That's a word I hear a lot, in the gym and from trainers even, uh, about this maintaining phenomenon. So why do you think? What do you think about that concept of maintaining? I know you made a video on it of why you explained you thought it was regressing, but for our viewers here, can you give a quick summary of why
Mhm.
you think maintenance is actually regression?
Yes. So word maintenance can be applicable to only weightlifting activity because more or less, if you are a teenage boy, let's say, at your age even, which is a little older, at 10 years from now, you're gonna reach a plateau. If you didn't play with anabolic steroids, if you didn't got into bodybuilding stuff, you will reach plateau when everything you will be doing is just lifting the same barbell for same amount of reps, more or less, over and over again. Same with every muscle. And the only thing will change if you will grow 10, 20 pounds more, then you can lift maybe 1 pound more on your basic exercise. So it's very limiting. That's why look at it this way. If you only go to the gym to lift weights, so you don't develop any physical functional qualities. That's why, in your case, in anybody who does that, it's maintenance. It's truly maintenance because all you do is maintaining muscles that you don't need. It's kind of addiction, because there's no benefits from that. You are maintaining, and yes, you are not gonna go higher unless I don't know, unless you grow some pounds in order to improve a little bit of bench press, but it's very limiting. So that is putting you in a position of like not progressing at all, in future. And that's why where there's no progress, there's regress. Maintenance is regress because life keeps going, but you're on the same place, maintaining something that is alive. In my case, how do I see it? How do I look at it? So again, physical activity is has limitless amounts of moves that you can teach your body, and that's what I'm doing. That's why I'm sharing so many different exercises, workout ideas to let your body to try all of different type of moves, get used to it, because that's what your body is here for, to learn as much as you can. And that's why it puts me in a position, me or anybody who trains this way, under limitless progress. Because look, you can, let's say, do most amount of push-ups in regular clean form, then you can do the most amount of push-ups of closed form, then you can try most amount of push-ups with 2 seconds pause, then you can combine, then you can see how many times you can throw a kettlebell, then like it's it puts you in really active training over and over again. And that's why there is the idea of maintenance disappears, because there's constant progress. You always try different combinations. You want to try jump higher, you do. You want to try squat more, you want to see how fast you can do this or this workout. Like, there's so much to do, and that's why you want to actually, and you want to include weights, doesn't matter, kettlebells, dumbbells, sure. So it's all possible. Just, explore different type of movements, different type of exercise, comparing to when you're in the gym, you only like doing the same type of movements, chest, dumbbell flies, then crossover, then the bench press, like you over and over same shit again to maintain. Exactly. But I promote different type of training. But yes, if people look at the training as maintenance of that muscle mass, sure, that's a maintenance, but that's, for me, is regress, because not a single person in history was sitting there with big useless muscles and spending food resources on himself, saying, I'm just maintaining. That wouldn't be possible. You know what I mean?
If that was possible, they'd probably kill him for being wealthy enough to have that much food. um,
Yeah,
that's really a good point. And while you were saying that, it kind of clicked in my head that it's changing what progress means with this type of training. Because in the traditional sense, like you said, oh, I'm just gonna lift this amount so that way I don't, go over or under, and I get to have these big muscles. But what you're saying is by continuously adding in exercises, um, you're always moving forward in skill, and that's radically changing what's considered progress in the traditional sense of progress only being measured in how much weight you can lift rather than how you can use the mass you have to do certain activities, which is quite remarkable. And I feel like this type of training has become more common within the last decade, mostly because people are starting to realize that either one, just doing these same movements with the bench press and such are boring, or there's, I don't know, something in the air where people want to be, survivalists again. Um, I will say that from personal experience, when I had COVID and I started to feel better again and started working out at home, I went back to the gym 2 weeks later and I said, oh, let me just hop on the bench press for, just to see if I still can like lift it. Because I was still in a little bit of disbelief if, am I really still able to lift this if I've just been doing push-ups? And I was, but it didn't feel anything. Like I didn't get anything out of it. And I mean, this training is much more effective in targeting the major and minor muscle groups because it is functional and you're doing different movements that you typically don't do. So it's always a challenge in that regard as well. And it's also, that's why I think it's great for burning fat because it is cardiovascular primarily and it is intense. I've never sweat like that before in my life at any gym until I started doing functional training. And that's why I think fat, a lot of people have this conception about fat too, where it's like specific to a body group. Like, oh, I want to reduce fat around my abs or fat around like my hips. But like you said it earlier too, fat is lost around the entire body. You know,
I may comment on this.
yeah.
So, uh, yeah, so we have to also understand that me, I am talking about sport. When I talk about fitness, physical activity, I'm talking about sport. But people, when they talk about fitness, they talk about beauty, beauty, you know?
Oh, I see what you're
So,
saying. Okay.
and that's so when, let's say, if I somebody will ask me, no, let's say for me, concept of being healthy and old is to have a healthy lifestyle, healthy habits. For somebody, being healthy and old means how much plastic surgery this person will be ready to put in themselves, you know?
Mm.
So people have different concepts, and for most part, is cosmetic concept, all right? So that idea of wanting to burn fat only on abs, that is cosmetic goal. Even people think it's physical, it's physical gym goal. It's not a gym goal, it's cosmetic goal. And what happens in that case, that brings that's funny to say, distorts already the idea of training,
Mm.
because in that case person will be always chasing that abs. You want to go no carbs. You want to do 2 hours of cardio, do 2 hours of cardio. So he's a hostage of that cosmetic goal. Now, what it should be for an athlete, teenager, man, whatever, the lifestyle should be, so the person should not care about abs at all. It shouldn't, like, he should have abs as he has other parts of his body. It should be a side effect of the lifestyle in the abs case. Because when you train hard, when you make best choices in nutrition, when your goal is physical training, your functionality, your human strength, your lifelong, long life, enjoyable life, confidence, then that abs, as anything else, as muscles, as the look, as as the jaws and skinny face, comes as a side effect. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no. I'm coming at this from the health perspective, by the way. I'm not coming at it from the
Yeah.
cosmetic aspect like a lot of people
No,
do.
I totally understand. Yeah.
Okay.
And you were talking about the does fat burns locally or not? It does not burn locally. Fat burns all over the body. The visibility of abs depends on two things. Thing number one is not even fat percentage. It's a genetical factor. So because we're not talking about super obese people, of course, but let's say some people with 20 plus body fat percentage can have good visible abs, comparing to somebody with much lower fat percentage. It's because of genetics. Number two is, of course, fat percentage itself. If the person overall body percentage is low enough for his abs genetically be seen, then the person will see abs. If not, then won't, no matter how strong he works them out. And one more thing about ab training. So again, people believe too much in abs training and they're ready to do multiple millions of crunches. Now, of course, it won't work even with, even if you do it every day when you have body fat that doesn't allow you to see abs. Now, in my case, what is important is strong core
Mm.
because core is, important part of the body, then it's important to make it strong. That's why I do strong, difficult core exercises. And I am not worried about the abs, because abs is a side effect of my lifestyle, which includes nutrition and activity. That's what it is.
That's true too. But you mentioned people wanting to do a million crunches. People don't even want to do crunches. They'll just do the machines. And those are even worse for you.
Yeah,
I used to do the machines and I noticed like I was like, "Wait, why do I have like why does this not look right?" And it's like it's like an unnatural look and it's not actually giving you real strength cuz once I started doing other ab exercises out like not machine oriented, I was like getting winded every day. So they don't even it's just for a look and it's probably going to distort and displace your organs.
I don't know about organ displacement, but ab machines are also made for comfort.
Mm.
So I remember there's an ab machine where you bring yourself down, crunching in kind of sitting position, and you can put the weight there, and you can put 70 pounds, 100 pounds. Some people put 150 pounds, and you just sit there and try to crunch. It distorts the idea. There's so many light exercises that by adding a pause, you won't be able to perform. And there's no point of doing those assisted ab exercises is like 25% amplitude leg press with tons of weight. That's what it is.
Mm. That's true.
So
I
it's also, yeah,
No, go ahead. Go
illusion.
ahead. Go ahead, Igor.
Oh, sorry, I'm done. I'm done.
Okay, I was gonna say too that I was doing the leg press recently, the one with the cable leg press, and I mean I gotta say that like after that I like my knees just felt terrible. Like there's not even really a point in using machines. I'm really against them at this point, just because I haven't really seen much of a benefit from them. I feel like I get way more out of if I'm doing like legs, like definitely air squats, explosive squats, um, goblin squats, lunges.
Goblin.
Those will do good. Oh, you don't like goblin squats?
No, goblet. It's called
Oh,
goblet, not
goblet. Oh, are
goblin.
you serious?
Yeah.
Holy shit. You know what? Honestly, like I have weird fucked up names for shit I don't even understand either. There's um, the one where what's that ab workout where you climb up on this thing and you kick your legs out and then you drop them down. Where you kind of like swing your
Oh
legs.
man, I don't know. There's so many of them.
Oh Jesus. There's the one where you could where you do that but you're on the pull-up bar. I've been wanting to try that one. That's in my book of things to
Oh, I
try.
I see. Outfit crunches or something. I'm not sure.
Whatever it's called. I call them swingy boys. Just because I don't even know names anymore. I just know how to do things. But goblet squats. Okay, cool. I'm going to write that down actually. But yeah, that's what I do. I do lunges. I feel like using dumbbells and kettlebells like it just gives me more stabilization cuz I my form is really messed up with stuff like I just keep getting hurt consistently whenever I so for example like when I'll do well one I made the mistake of using a Smith machine a couple of months back and then like I hurt my bicep tendon and it hasn't really been the same since. So like I got to be very careful when I if I do actually bench press and it's just kind of to the point where it's like not even worth it because I'll be in pain or I'll because either the form is wrong or the tendon's not healed correctly. So like the fact that the kettlebells and dip bars and push-ups have similar if not better effects and is just as actually more challenging is really a relief to me. Um and I feel like a lot of people just don't know about it because a lot of people, what I noticed too is that a lot of people that did sports in high school, they hate burpees. They just won't do burpees or they won't do push-ups because they were like forced to do it as kids over and over again. And I feel like a lot of, the way I guess people get convinced on doing this stuff in the futures, I don't know, when it's introduced to them as kids, like you got to introduce it differently, you know.
I think, Anthony, again, it's just a problem of choice. You won't like really deliver so much information to a teenager who is in his comfort zone. He believes in it.
Mm.
It takes a lot of aspects to understand the training style that we're discussing. It requires person first of all to be an athlete and in his heart, because somebody who is an athlete won't let himself go. He's always will be active.
Mm.
So that's why some young people, it's important to wake this feeling up in them, because there's so many of them can achieve a lot of physical disciplines. They just would never discover that if they get stuck in the gym.
I see what
But
you're
it's
saying.
difficult to retransform the people's brain who are 10 years in the gym, 15. They maybe try to change their lifestyle at some point, but there should be something, some trigger, maybe in their health or something, for them to change. But usually it doesn't really happen. And for people who just want to improve, they just have to include as many parts of their body in as they can in exercises, have decent intensity, develop the active lifestyle, walk more, move more, and make the better choices in consistent food habits. That's it. And forget about any plans. Just slowly start the journey now and finish when they're done living. That's it. And develop the right mindset for all of that.
It's definitely a lifelong journey. And like that's how I decided to look at it too, because I just see how people, when they age, they're not, they because they don't stay active, they end up like atrophying, and you take a bad fall, and that's how some people die. That because they fell off a chair, they fell off down the steps or something. That's they couldn't get up, and that always freaked me out because it's like then you're completely powerless. So that's kind of like what motivated me to make the switch, on top of just kind of like getting injured multiple times. It's mostly until something bad happens to you that you decide to wake up, and that's really the sad reality for 99% of us is people, is that like, you know, we don't follow by example. We follow by, oh wow, we just screwed up. We need to make an adjustment immediately. You know.
Yeah, that's how it works. And
Yeah, but I wanted to thank you, for coming on. This was really great information. I feel like anyone that listened to this definitely had their mind blown a little bit about some unhealthy habits that they may be forming, and some good ways to combat that. And as always, you are a wealth of information on this topic. So thank you again. Like, this was awesome.
you're welcome, my friend. You're welcome. And I'll see you next time.
See you next time, brother. Everyone, thank you for listening to another episode of Backpacking America. Also, quick shout out to Innate Cleaning. He is one of the best deep cleaning interior specialists you could ever check out. His Instagram is at Innate Cleaning, and he will finesse your home. Until next time, my friends.